So today we're going to be talking about the Sony 50mm 1.8 and if it's any good or not. YouTube, what is good? So as you saw by the intro, we are talking about the 50mm 1.8 by Sony. It's Sony's nifty 50, as they like to call it. So starting off this video is the price of this lens. Now this is actually the cheapest lens that you can buy for Sony full frame, and as the time of the recording of this video, you can pick it up for £160, and you can kind of see why with the build quality. So this lens is actually fully plastic except for the mount inside. And unlike other Sony lenses, you don't have any buttons or any changes for autofocus to manual focus. The only thing that's on the lens is a focus ring, and it's okay, it's not the smoothest, but it's definitely not the worst that I've used. There is also no weather sealing on the lens, but for £160, I wasn't really expecting it anyway. And the main downside of this lens is actually the autofocus. It is super slow and it always hunts to try and find the subject. When I first got this lens, I actually used the Sony a7 II, and I thought that's why that the autofocus was a bit rubbish, because I know the a7 II is not known to have good autofocus at all. I then upgraded to the Sony a7R II. The autofocus was a little bit better, but still wasn't great. I'm now using the Sony a7R III, and it's still not great. The Sony a7R III has amazing autofocus, and I literally can't fault it at all. As I'm saying this and bigging up the autofocus on this camera, I can actually see it right now, struggling to find my face. I'm going to throw a couple of clips on screen and just show the hunting and how slow the autofocus is on this lens. It doesn't happen all the time, but usually when you need it most, that's when it hunts. But if you can get past the autofocus and the cheaper build quality, this is to me one of the best product photography lenses that I've used. I have literally used this lens on every single paid shoot that I have ever done. Whether that be cafes, hotels, or even Christmas fairs, this lens has always been on my camera during a paid gig. I have found that the focal length is perfect. I used to have a 50mm when I shot on Canon. I used to have an 80D, which is a APS-C camera, and I really didn't like 50mm then, but 50mm on an APS-C lens is actually closer to about 75. But on full frame, 50mm is amazing. It's also got a minimum aperture of 1.8, which means low light it's amazing, and shallow depth of field there is lots of. And clients actually love shallow depth of field because it makes your image look a bit more high quality, and clients want the highest quality that they can get. So would I recommend this lens? The answer is yes. But if you buy it, you have to give it time. And in time, you will probably grow to love it just like I have. So that is it for today. I want to say thank you for watching. Maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. Maybe if you already have this lens, let me know your thoughts down below if you love it or if you hate it. And I'll see you in the next one.